if we see them come out and actually accept this, whew, that's going to be a huge deal for not just Dogecoin, but for all cryptocurrencies in general. I think you're the one who told me about this, right? Doge Day? I was reading up on it. People are saying they want to make 420 Doge Day, and Dogecoin should hit 69 cents per coin or even $1 per coin. That's going to be a pretty big ask, you know? Another $50 billion added into the coin. We'll see what happens, but welcome to my show. Hope you're having a great day. We go live every day at 9 a.m. Eastern time talking about the stock market, cryptocurrency, and financial news in general. So if you're new here, make sure to subscribe, like the video down below. And I don't know if you've seen, but Dogecoin recently surpassed Ripple, XRP, as the fourth largest cryptocurrency ahead of Doge Day. And this is a really big deal because Dogecoin is a joke. Dogecoin was made as a meme, as a joke, and now we're seeing it in the top 5 cryptos. At the very moment that I'm filming this, Dogecoin is currently sitting around 40 cents per coin. It's currently ranked number 5, just behind XRP, Ripple, and still, doesn't matter. No matter how you look at it, being number 5 out of all cryptocurrencies out there, having a market cap of about $50 billion is not a joke anymore. That's a lot of money and pretty impressive, actually. So right now, Dogecoin briefly replaced Ripple as number 4, but Dogecoin has seen a massive run lately, and everything going on with Dogecoin and Doge Day is bringing a lot more attention to the coin, and the only way we'll see this continue to go up is with more attention, more hype, more people talking about it. So making 420 Doge Day is going to drive this up even higher as we're seeing more and more people tweet about it. We're seeing Google Trends going skyrocketing for the number of people searching Doge Day, Dogecoin, and all of that recently. And it's continuing to rise. So many people are predicting that Dogecoin can hit 69 cents per coin at some point during the day, or even $1. So we'll see what happens, but this is a really big deal. More attention around Dogecoin, currently ranked number 5 out of all the cryptocurrencies out there. So really, it's not a joke anymore. It seems like it's here to stay. There's a lot of people talking about it, a lot of hype around it. More people talking about it, the more hype. Well, obviously, the higher the price is going to go. One thing to keep in mind, though, with Dogecoin, one thing that can be a pretty big risk is that the single largest Dogecoin wallet holds about 28% of all coins available. So that's about a third of all coins available is held by one person. And in addition to this, 5 wallets control 40% of the entire Dogecoin supply. So the risk with this is that if these people are just letting the coins get higher in value and letting more people talk about it, more attention, well, they could just dump their wallets and become instant Dogecoin billionaires, leaving the rest of the people with having a crashing Dogecoin price. So something just to keep in mind, because if these people offload their coins all at once, well, that's 40% of the entire Dogecoin supply will be offloaded into the market, and we'll see it crash pretty quickly if these people decide to do that, and they'll become instant billionaires. So just something to keep in mind. But speaking of Dogecoin is gaining a lot of momentum, and actually a bunch of companies are starting to accept it as a valid form of payment as Dogecoin continues to shoot to the moon, continues to just skyrocket. So right now, Dogecoin surpassed about 43 cents per coin at one point during the day. It's been hovering right around 40 cents per coin, and it's rising a lot in popularity thanks to, Elon Musk, Tesla, Snoop Dogg, a bunch of celebrities, and just people talking about it because it was meant to be a joke, it was created as just a joke, as a meme. And now a lot of people want to see that turn into an actual reality. And it actually is, because right now, while Dogecoin has skyrocketed over 9,200% year to date, right now, a lot of companies are starting to actually accept it. So The listing of Coinbase last week, a couple days ago, has really brought more attention to crypto, Dogecoin, and everything in general related to this. So now we're seeing companies start to accept not only Bitcoin and Ethereum and, let's say Litecoin or Bitcoin Cash, they're starting to accept some of the smaller altcoins out there as well. And they're also even accepting Dogecoin, which was never really supposed to be able to be used. So just the other day, EasyDN, a Canadian web hosting provider, said it had begun accepting Dogecoin. It had already been accepting Bitcoin and Ethereum and Litecoin, but now it's adding Dogecoin to the list. In addition to this, Bots, OTC listed, publicly traded company Bots is a robotics company that says it became one of the first publicly traded companies to accept Dogecoin as a valid form of payment for all of its products and services. And this is really a big deal because now we're not just seeing small companies or, privately owned companies doing this. We're seeing publicly traded companies saying, look, we're going to start accepting Dogecoin in addition to Bitcoin and Ethereum. And also, obviously, we've been seeing the Dallas Mavericks for a while. Dallas Mavericks, Mark Cuban, he had said previously that, in business, sometimes you got to do things that are fun. Air Baltic, a Latvian airlines, accept Dogecoin. They've been accepting Bitcoin since 2014. Kessler, which is a luxury hotel chain, they said that they'll be accepting Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Dogecoin. So we're starting to see a lot of companies accept Dogecoin. But there's one company in particular that we haven't seen it start to accept it, and that company is Amazon. But there's a lot of talk going around that Amazon should accept Dogecoin. And there's actually a petition that now has over 150,000 signatures of people who are rallying behind this, who are calling for Amazon to accept Dogecoin after the recent price surge, because they're saying, first and foremost, that Dogecoin, by not accepting Dogecoin, Amazon is actually alienating many people who do not have a traditional bank account, and that they need to accept cryptocurrencies, digital assets, specifically Dogecoin. So this would be a really, really big move for Dogecoin. If we saw this happen, we could easily see Dogecoin skyrocket well above $1 per coin, because Amazon generates tens of billions of dollars in revenue every single year. They are the largest company, one of the largest companies in the world, worth multi-trillion dollars. This would be massive for Dogecoin. And if we see them come out and actually accept this, that's going to be a huge deal for not just Dogecoin, but for all cryptocurrencies in general. And that'll be exciting to see. Right now, we haven't seen any talk from Amazon about this. They haven't responded to the petition. But if Dogecoin was able to do this, it makes a little bit of sense, because Dogecoin has the lowest transaction fee of all major cryptocurrencies out there. It also has a huge supply of coins, has a very large active community of ongoing development. And so between having these low transaction fees, having a large community working on it, basically being a copy from Bitcoin's code, a lot of people are saying that this has a real chance of actually potentially being used by more and more companies. And if we saw Amazon use it, that would be a game changer for Dogecoin and just crypto in general. Speaking of game changers, though, I don't know if you saw, we spoke about this the other day, but Canada recently approved 3 ETFs to be launching on the Toronto Stock Exchange. And now it's becoming a reality, because today is the day that we're seeing all 3 of these ETFs go live. They all branded themselves as the first ever Ethereum ETF, but really it's all 3 of them at the same time. There's not one that's a first. They're all going live on the same day. It's on Tuesday, April 20th, that they're all going live on the Toronto Stock Exchange. For all 3 of them are, the first one is CI Global Asset Management, the second is Purpose Investments, and the third is Evolve ETFs. All of them are coming out with an Ethereum ETF. Slight differences in some fees, some things like that, but they're all going to be available to trade. And this is a really big deal, because now if investment firms and, let's say, other ETFs want exposure to crypto, now they can either invest in Coinbase, they can invest in Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, and they also have these 3 Ethereum ETFs that previously people didn't have access to. Like, large financial institutions have a lot of regulations in place that prevent them from investing in, riskier assets, and prevented them from investing directly into Bitcoin or Ethereum. So now Canada is one of the most, proactive countries in terms of cryptocurrency. They already have 3 Bitcoin ETFs, and now they're having 3 Ethereum ETFs. So it's going to give financial institutions much more exposure and give them the option now to invest in Ethereum directly if they want direct exposure to that. Obviously, retail investors can invest in whatever they want, but it gives institutional investors the opportunity to now invest directly into some of these cryptos. And that's really big because that's where you start to see the big money come into place. You start to see tens of billions of dollars poured into cryptocurrencies when we start to see institutions do it. So we'll see what happens there. But big news with these ETFs is that one Ethereum ETF in particular that's going live actually waived its fees ahead of listing this week as a way to differentiate itself from the other 2 Ethereum ETFs. So like I said, they're all branding themselves as the first ever Ethereum ETF. We have 3, one from CI, we have one from CI Global Asset Management. We have one from Purpose Investments and one from Evolve ETFs. So those are the three ETFs we're going to see for Ethereum. And the differences between them is essentially just going to be these management fees. So one company in particular says that they're waiving their management fee for the first couple of months. And that's going to likely help them gain a lot more traction. So which company was it? So Evolve said in a statement the other day that they are waiving their management fee. They said this voluntary management fee waiver will result in 0% management fee for their Ether ETF until May 31st, 2021. And they said that's going to bring an immediate value opportunity for investors for a limited time. The other ETFs, the other Ethereum ETFs like CI Global Management will charge 0.4% management fee, and Purpose will charge 1% management fee. That's how ETFs make money. They have these 1%, 0.5% management fees. So by Evolve saying that they are going to be waiving this fee, even though it's only for a couple of months, that still gives investors a lot of more value added, better value proposition than the other ETFs, the other Ethereum ETFs, because really there's not much difference between them. It's going to be that which one is going to become the main name in Ethereum ETF space. Like once one of them becomes a dominant player, has the most money under assets, the most invested in it, well, then that's going to become really the leader in the space. But right now, since they're all going live on the same day, that's how, Evolve is trying to differentiate themselves by saying, look, we have 0% management fee. You should invest in us versus investing in these other Ethereum ETFs because of our 0% management fee. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. But either way, I'm very excited about having all 3 Ethereum ETFs go live on the Toronto Stock Exchange. It doesn't really change much for retail investors, but then we could start to see more institutions pour money directly into Ethereum, causing the price of Ethereum to go up even more now that we're seeing big money start to enter the space. Now, remember how there was that big flash crash with Bitcoin the other day? It was over the last couple of days. Bitcoin went from all-time highs of $65,000 per coin, dropped all the way down to $50,000 within a couple of hours. Now it's back around, the mid $50,000 range, but this massive flash crash wiped out $300 billion in the crypto market across all of the altcoins and Bitcoin and everything like that. So previously, the market cap for the entire cryptocurrency market was a little over $2 trillion, around $2.1 to $2.15 trillion. Now it's below $1.9 trillion. It's still approaching that $2 trillion range, but still it dropped $300 billion in the matter of a couple of hours. It tanked not only the price of Bitcoin, like prices of Ethereum, Ripple, Cardano, all of those, they dropped even more. The only one that was holding pretty steady was Dogecoin. Ironically, the one that's supposed to be a meme or a joke, actually was the only one that was still up in the 24-hour period following that flash crash. But anyways, right now, Bitcoin has seen that massive hit, and a lot of people are saying, It could be partially due to outages in China that caused a lot of these Bitcoin mining facilities and Bitcoin miners to be offline. They say that could be one of the reasons why. In addition to this, a lot of people are saying that with some of the regulations and reports from the US government talking about putting regulations on crypto, because we saw Turkey ban crypto as a form of payment, so people are getting a little worried about that. But either way, though, a lot of people are saying this is a great opportunity to start adding to your portfolio. The best time to add to these cryptos, and I agree with this, the best time to add is after we see these massive drops. While everything is red, it's hard to add, but if you're adding to like Bitcoin or Ethereum, those are the two that are going to be around for the longest time, really no matter what. So when you see a day where they're down 15, 20%, that's the time that you want to add to these positions and sort of just dollar cost average your position. After Coinbase went public, there was a lot of hype around Bitcoin, Ethereum, and just all the cryptos in general. So with now that, it's been a couple of days, a little while after, started to cool off a bit. So it was sort of just the timing that made it so Bitcoin crashed between the outages in China around the Bitcoin miners, the regulatory crackdown in Turkey, some reports coming from the US government, and after the Coinbase IPO, sort of just, it was like time to take a quick breather. But by the end of this year, I still think Bitcoin, Ethereum, crypto in general is going to continue to skyrocket, continue to be well above where it is right now. I think we're going to continue to reach new highs. And ultimately, there's been a lot of retail investment, a lot of people in the retail space putting money into Bitcoin, Dogecoin, Ethereum. There's like a frenzy going on. It seems like people can't put enough money in. So obviously when this happens, there's always more volatility, because the second something starts to drop, people get worried because these people are just, following the hype. But now, some of these people left, they sold. Going to be time for the market to just continue to go upwards, in my opinion. I think, especially with Coinbase having its market debut, now that that's settling in, it's going to bring a lot more money into just all cryptocurrencies, no matter if it's Bitcoin, Ethereum, or Dogecoin. I think Coinbase having its market debut really is just bringing more attention, more money into crypto in general. Speaking of digital assets, though, China recently came out and says that it has no desire at all to replace the dollar with the digital yuan. A lot of people are getting worried about this, especially the US government and some economists, because they're saying that with China already having its pilot program for the digital yuan, it's going to make it so they could potentially be trying to replace the dollar as like the main reserve currency. So a lot of people are worried right now because China already has this pilot program out. They already have started to distribute the digital yuan. There's tens of thousands of businesses already accepting it. Tens of millions of dollars in it are already being spent. And according to the People's Bank of China, their deputy governor, Li Bo, he said the goal for internationalizing its currency is not to replace the dollar. And the effort to create a digital yuan are aimed at domestic use. He said the purpose of creating this was not for international use. While they are going to test this at the 2022 Winter Olympics, that's not the main purpose. The main purpose of it is for their economy, to give people the option to use either digital coins or use, paper money. And either way, we all know that eventually money's going to be digitized. There's going to be cashless societies, and that is what is going to happen. But some people are worried that, with China already rolling out their digital yuan, that they're trying to become the world's reserve currency, main reserve currency. So we'll see what happens. But right now they're saying that their main goal is just to have give people the choice, give people the choice to choose how they want to pay, and they want to facilitate international trade and investment. A couple problems with the digital yuan that would prevent it from becoming like the world's reserve currency is that there's a lot of issues with the Chinese government that put like restrictions into place on what people in China can invest in. And a lot of people right now, let's say foreign investments in in the Chinese markets is still fairly low. Right now, if you're looking in the context of its vast markets, foreign ownership of local stocks and bonds in China is relatively low, around 5 and 3%. So in order for this to really be like a reserve currency for the world, we would need to see regulations in China loosen up quite a bit so there could be more money put into the space. And I don't think that'll really happen. So I don't think there's any risk to the dollar being, taken over by the Chinese digital yuan as the world's reserve currency. But we'll have to wait and see what happens. They are the furthest along in terms of development of this digital yuan. They have already a pilot program. The US has not even really come up with a plan. They've been talking about a digital currency, but they're definitely not nearly as close as China. China's been working on this for about 7 years now. So we'll see what happens. But speaking of digital currencies, Wall Street banks are starting to get a little worried, and they're starting to brace for digital dollars as the next big disruptive force in the market. So they're saying that they're starting to warm up to the idea that there will be digital currencies, central bank digital currencies. The difference between these and let's say Bitcoin and Ethereum is that these would be regulated by the government, by the central bank. And really the point of them is going to be to reduce a lot of that volatility that currently Bitcoin and Ethereum has. They said that these digital coins that they see in the future, that Wall Street banks see in the future, are going to be much more stable, just directly correlated to dollar prices around the globe, whether that's, in the US, whether that's in Europe, it doesn't matter. They said that these dollar prices, that these digital coins that they are starting to brace for, they're not going to have as much volatility. They're really just going to be direct replacements of just physical money, cash, and just transferring to a cashless society. So right now, according to analysts, they're saying that countries like China and Bahamas are already leading the way into digital currencies. China and Bahamas, they already have pilot programs in place. They're already starting to build out the infrastructure to have a completely cashless society. Good news is that efforts to introduce central bank digital currencies are starting to increase. And as many as 86% of the world's central banks are already exploring digital currencies. They've already started to talk about it. 60% are working on proof of concepts, and 14% have actually already launched a pilot program. So while, that 14% number is still fairly low, it's increasing very rapidly, and we're starting to see more countries not want to miss out, not want to get behind. And as we're seeing China, Bahamas, other countries starting to already roll out pilot programs, it's going to encourage more countries to get onto it, get theirs released faster as well. Some areas of worry, like Jerome Powell, Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell, he's come out and spoken about digital currencies in general. He says it's something that they've been considering, something they've been working on for a while, but there are risks to it, and they want to make sure that before they release it, before they would start exploring it, start developing a pilot program, that the uses actually would benefit the American people. They want to make sure that it's actually a benefit. Some benefits are that with stimulus, for example, when stimulus checks were sent out, they would have been able to send these out instantly to everyone. It makes it much easier to transfer money. In addition to this, it would have also had a big impact and a big positive impact on the unbanked population. People who don't have a bank account and who are unbanked. This would be able to connect these people into the financial world by giving them, digital wallets and things like that. So those are some of the benefits of it. Obviously, there are a lot of risks, are a lot of, challenges to overcome in terms of regulation before we would see this happen. But they say that the biggest positive from this is that it would really help out the unbanked population, and it would increase the speed of transactions, like from the government to people. So for example, with stimulus checks, that would have been done instantly. So we'll see what happens there, but that's currently what's going on with Wall Street banks. They're already starting to talk about and prepare for the next wave of currency, being digital currencies being integrated all around the world. Speaking of cryptos, Cardano. They've been seeing a huge spike in developer interest over the last couple of days as they're starting to prepare for their third major hard fork combinator HFC event called Alonzo. They already had two others, pretty recently, and now they're preparing for the third one. And Tim Harrison, marketing communications director at Input Output Global, which is Cardano's developer company, published a job advertisement for data engineer, consulting lead, Java consultant, solutions architect, and a bunch of other positions at the company. Now they're saying that this is the company that basically does the development work for Cardano. And essentially they said that as they start to get closer to the third hard fork and the rolling out of smart contracts on Cardano, they're seeing a huge spike in developer interest. They're building a new dedicated team to help properly serve this fast-growing community and help bring them on board. Currently, they said Cardano's developer has around 300 employees worldwide. They're in over 50 countries, and the company claims to embrace people from cultures all around the world. They say they're aiming to make collaboration between diverse people fun, exciting, and always rewarding. Trying to think outside the box, and with this big upcoming event, now Cardano's next upgrade to introduce smart contract support is called Alonzo, and this is projected to be sometime in the Q3 of 2021. We don't know an exact date yet. This has already been delayed once before, but this would be a really big move for Cardano because this Alonzo hard fork would essentially use the Plutus platform to establish the infrastructure and tools for smart contract development, and this is going to essentially be a next generation update for Cardano that would allow it to have more uses than prior. With smart contracts are huge in cryptocurrency, and that's one of the major practical use cases for crypto in general, having smart contracts. So we'll see what happens here, but this is pretty big news. And we don't know an exact date yet on this Alonzo hard fork, but I'll make sure to keep you guys updated when it happens. Either way, though, this excitement has been driving more developer interest in Cardano, and also been driving the price up in recent days. In an interview with Yahoo Finance, and he said that he thinks Dogecoin will probably cease to exist. I think this is absolutely ridiculous. I don't think there's any chance that it's going to cease to exist entirely for a long, long time, if ever, because now we're already starting to see it integrated into actual companies. Companies are starting to accept it as a valid form of payment. It has the lowest transaction costs out there for the major cryptos, and I don't see it going anywhere anytime soon because there's so much talk around it, so much hype, so much attention. And when something like that has so many eyeballs on it, so many people pouring tens of millions of dollars into it, it has a $50 billion market cap, the fifth largest crypto out there. It's not so easy for that to go away. People are going to want it to succeed. And if people want something to succeed and there's a lot of money behind it, well, I wouldn't bet against that. So Eddie Kapoor, in an interview, he says he sees Dogecoin as more of a speculative play and that the bubble will burst. He says it will burst, and when it does, it'll probably cease to exist. He thinks it's just going to crash completely, go to zero, disappear. I disagree with this. I don't think it's going to zero anytime soon. I don't think it's really ever going to go to zero because there's just too much demand. It's all about supply and demand, and there's just too much demand right now for Dogecoin. He said what he was saying is that the best way to look at this right now is the same as the technology bubble that we saw in the 1990s. And then ultimately he said it bursted in March of 2000. He says this is going to happen again. We're currently in the bubble for cryptos, Dogecoin. And he says that crypto is the most speculative out of all of the risks out there. So he thinks we're definitely going to see it crash. He says if you are looking to invest in crypto, he would say invest in, let's say, Bitcoin, Ethereum, because he doesn't think those are going away anytime soon. But he says with Dogecoin, he thinks this will crash. I personally think that this, I see his points as it was made as, let's say, a joke, since it was made as like a meme currency. But the problem is now, even though it's a meme currency, there's so much attention, so much money behind it, so much hype on it that I just see it succeeding in the future. If there's enough attention on anything and there's enough money being poured into it, it's going to succeed, because now we're already seeing it used. For some publicly traded companies are already accepting it. We're seeing Dallas Mavericks accept payments. We're seeing Bots, which is an OTC publicly traded company, accept it. We're seeing a Latvian airlines already accept Dogecoin as a form of payment. So we're starting to see some big companies, even publicly traded companies, accept Dogecoin as a valid form of payment. And if that's the case, and we see more and more companies do that, I just don't see it going away. In addition to this, he said that investing in crypto, this I agree with. Investing in crypto, you have to be careful, because you can see these 20%, 30% swings in a single day. And I agree with that. It's happened time and time and again. 20, 30% corrections in crypto is not unheard of. It's actually fairly common. So you need to be able to stomach that risk. Just knowing that when you see those big drop-offs, when you see down 20%, down 30%, those are great times to add to coins that you like in particular. He specifically spoke about Bitcoin and Ethereum, but still, no matter what investment you're looking at, if you believe in it long term, the best time to buy it is after those big drops, the 20, 30% drops. So we'll see what happens here. But this guy's saying that he thinks Dogecoin will cease to exist. I highly, highly doubt that. I see Dogecoin going to $1 before it ceases to exist. I don't think it's going away anytime soon. Being the 5th largest crypto by market cap, don't see it going anywhere soon. So Bitmain hints at a hash rate specification for its upcoming Ethereum ASIC miner. And this is going to be a beast. In a tweet the other day, Bitmain came out and they said how their new Ethereum ASIC miner would be a game changer, and add that the hash rate of one Antminer E9 is equivalent to 32 NVIDIA 3080 GPUs. And this is 4 times stronger, 4 times more powerful than anything currently available on the market. Currently, according to Miner Profitability Tracker, F2 Pool and Poolin, 8 NVIDIA's 3080 cards jointly deliver 760 megahashes per second of computing power. And Bitmain, what they currently claim with this new Antminer E9 miner, this can compute roughly 3,040 megahashes per second, which is 4 times more powerful than anything currently available on the market. It would outperform any of its rivals, and we'd likely see companies like Riot Blockchain and other companies out there start to place orders for this. We don't know an exact timeline, how soon it would be able to ship, especially with the ongoing chip shortage in the world. But this would be a game changer for Bitcoin mining in general. We don't know when it would come out. We don't know when, the energy consumption of it, but we do know that it would be 4 times more powerful, be able to mine 4 times more Ethereum than other Ethereum miners out there right now. So I'll make sure to keep you guys updated on this. But that's really all I got for you guys today, and I hope you enjoyed today's video. Don't forget, you can get 4 free stocks, each valued up to $1,600 when you download the Webull investing app using the link down below. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.